Thank you very much, Sraj Institute of Sindh Studies. Today I am going to speak on Sur Sarang, and I must mention that I am going to speak today from the book of my teacher and philosopher Javed Bhutto, that how he viewed Sur Sarang, a philosophical outlook by a scholar like Javed Bhutto would definitely aid unique contribution to the exegesis on Bhitai we already have. It's so deep, the analysis I'm talking about is so deep, so philosophical and so cognitively demanding that it really amazes the reader that how an 18th century old poet is going to be interpreted through the lens of philosophy, through the lens of mysticism, through the lens of Sufism in 21st century. The mode of Javed Bhutto's interpretation is overall twofold. He, on the one hand, he interprets it each bait or verse one by one separately, and then he has an overall analysis of the sur, overall philosophy of the sur. First of all, time is very short. There are total 9 points, and I think I would be able to present hardly 6 or 7. The first point is meaning. The word sarang has a very diversified meaning. First meaning I would mention about it's a word of an ancient Arabic language, which means divine or God. So Bhitai must be aware, needless to mention, because he was very well aware of the languages Persian and Arabic. So that's why he time and again repeats in his poetry, Saranga Sara Lahej, a line said to invoking the divine nature in favor of the deprived, in favor of the barren and thirsty. The word sarang also hints to the rainy weather, the weather or season that turns everything lush, green, fresh, bright, and soaked into the rainwater. Meanwhile, we also understand that the nature's one of the superlative and the most unbeatable expressions is converting the phenomenon around into greenery. The Persian meaning of word sarang, there are two meanings. There is the word small, tiny, and a very tender black bird. That is also called sarang, and sarang in Persian is also an instrument. Its shape is like damburo. Apparently, it seems the sur sarang indicates to. Apparently, I'm telling the meaning of the way sur sarang is presented. Apparently, it seems sur sarang indicates to a particular region, or particular geographical location that is badly struck by drought, that's badly struck by the absence of rain. That's why it's dried, it's parched. But meanwhile, there's an unbelievable abstraction as well. Concretely, people think that it might be talk about, or it might be a story about some land like Thar, but there's an abstraction as well. So if he's talking about as if it seems it's talking about the imaginal world, the world that is being created in the process of making all the time. However, so we can say that the sur sarang at the same time has a transcendental approach and as an approach of reality as well. So what else is sarang? Sarang is a cloudy weather. Sarang is lightning. Sarang is thunder, rain, blessing, a happening invoking destiny that is dormant into the deep slumber. And it is not limited to the seasonal phenomenon. Sarang is not limited to the seasonal phenomenon. And the vast meaning is much more than merely a rain, much deeper and profounder than that. Number 3. In Sur Sarang, Bhitai portrays the genetic structure of entire being. Being means whatever the phenomena that exists, that zoological and botanical phenomena exists in front of us. The sur spreads itself horizontally, vertically in concrete world, which is not just human existence, which is not just biological existence, but the entire phenomena, which is dry or which is barren. And then one day it rains, and the barrenness suddenly becomes replete with universal wetness. So it is real and transcendental both. The way Bhitai has presented Sur Sarang, it is like the cell of the entire being. It gives us microscopic eye to see the smallest of the botanical and zoological existence in totality after the rains, especially. In the absence of rain and after the rain. So as we see parts of the cell, there's a nucleus, there's a cellulose moving, dynamic, captured in the slide of microscope. Similarly in Sur Sarang, Bhitai sees the reality of the entire being moving, dynamic, and he has captured in it. Second, the being that is mentioned in Sur Sarang in the form of zoological, botanical, and human and transcendental value, that is narrated by feminine spirit. According to the Sufi belief, the human spirit is feminine. According to the Sufi spirit, human soul is feminine. So here also it is confirmed that the entire story in Sur Sarang, Bhitai 95% or 90% is interpreted through the woman spirit, but especially Sur Sarang, there is a woman who remembers her beloved, who remembers the rain, who just is sad over the drought and all those things. She says, Ajupin umidun agama sandhyun ubhame. Ajupin umidun agama sandhyun ubhame. Savan pasi sartyun sajan saryo mu. Aun asayati ayaha man bhijaye bhoon. Ghar to ghurji tu mund mudai mihaji. So now this is another day of yarning. And today, she says, today too, I hope that the sky would be overcast with the clouds and the land would soon be submerged with the rain water. And she calls her friends and says, oh my friends, perceiving the monsoon, I remember the beloved. May he rain on the land. So he uses the beloved with the simile of rain. She says, Sarang ke sareen maadhu mirgha mehu. Sarang ke sareen maadhu mirgha mehu. Aadhu abara asre tada tamareen. Sipu je samudra mein naye sij nihareen. Palar pyareen ta sangharin sukhte. Now Bhitai mentions the parts of the being. He says human being, the wild animals, the domesticated animals, they all start remembering and yearning the monsoon long before it comes. The ducks look for clouds, the quail carp in rainy season, the oysters in ocean look for clouds, rain on each day of monsoon, bring the rain so that the nomes be solaced and cheered. And then it's not just rain, it's love as well. In Sindhi there's a rhyme of meeh and neeh. Bhitai says meeha and neeha bai akhar hekdi. Meeha and neeha bai akhar hekdi. Je vasana ja vesa kare ta kakkar kan kiha. Badal thi biha je agama achan ji kare. So the rain and love both connote to the same thing here. So see how the word sarang or the concept of raining or the concept of sarang is used in diversified ways. As if both have the same pulsation, as if the both have same rhythm. But I says, whenever my beloved is in generosity to give shower the clouds, thunder and reverberate tearful. Then he says, if the beloved comes to me, I too would like to stand forth as a cloud to rain over him. Then he says, Jani ayo juye mein thyo kalab karar. The beloved has come on the site and he has tranquilized everyone. Jani ayo juye mein thyo kalab karar. Vehlu vichai vayo kare gham guzar. Nazaro nirvar pri pasayo panjo. The beloved has come on the site and it has tranquilized all the minds. All sorrows disappeared as soon as he manifested himself openly. So Sarang is beloved and love as well. Bhitai says, Ajupin uttar parade kara kakkar kaesa. Vidyu vasana ayu kare lal labesa. Pirije pardesa muke meeha medya. So there are signs that herald the rain, that jet black clouds. He says the jet black clouds have gathered on the northern horizon. The north in Bhitai has a meaning. It's not a geographical north, it's a symbolic meaning. I will talk later if I have time. He says the lightning flashing red amidst them, heralding rain. My beloved who lives in a far away has come to me due to rain. And that is, my love has been so much intensified that I feel that my beloved has almost joined me. 6th point. There is a universal scarcity, deprivation. There's an absolute emptiness, barrenness, and there's a doubt. Every being with smaller b, the entire, this phenomenon is parched, is dry, is dehydrated. Peasants are deprived, shepherds are deprived, nomads are deprived, men, women, children are deprived. Trees, birds, animals, lands are thirsty, waters, skies, earth are craving, yearning, and they are desolate. The sky above is covered with the sand of the desert. Every eye is looking at the sky. Eyes of the birds, eyes of the thirsty animals, and the eyes of humans. Bhitai is talking about the entire biosphere in the Sur. And the drought is both material. There's a drought of the soul and there's a drought of the land as well. Meaning there's a supreme barrenness, universal emptiness, constant scarcity of everything, of love and rain. There's a scarcity of love and there's a scarcity of rain for every being, for humans, for animals, for birds, for grass, for trees, and for the entire spirit of being, which are the skies and the waters, suffer the affliction of emptiness. As I said, that the emptiness is ideal and material both. How? The drought of souls. There's a drought of existence, of phenomena, of hearts. Hence, mih is needed and nih is also needed. So the rain and the love at the same time is both needed. So the rain would moist the land and the love is going to moist the hearts. So there is a universal drought. So Sarang talks about doing away with that. So what is needed? Such rain and such love is needed, which damps everything, turns them into greenery, the real as well as the spirit. So one must not forget, when we talk about Bhitai, we try to find Bhitai's characters into geographical locations. We try to search where was Marvi located, where was Sasui, and where were the Jogis they have traveled. Of course there are certain geographical locations, but Bhitai's world is more imaginable. The way he is presenting things. So when there is no rain, there's constant emptiness. As it's a matter, when there's no rain, here's matter of existence, as Shakespeare says, to be or to not be. Similarly, when there's no rain in this region, there is no existence. So which rain? The rain that rains on the spirits, on the bodies. And she says, may the dark clouds come, lightning and thunder come, may the rain come, may friend come, beloved come, love come, all come in abundance, like pouring out from the ocean of loveliness. Cosmopolitanism, point 7th. Bhitai says, now see his cosmopolitanism. When he talks about it, he doesn't mention only Sindh, that is his land. He talks about the entire world, and see his vision, how vast it is, and which region he's just, not mentioned. It's surprising. He says, Motri mandana ji vari kayai var, vinyu vasana ayu chodis ai chodhar, ke uthi vayu Istanbul de, ke maniu maghrib par, ke chimkan chinate, ke lahan samarkandin sar, ke rami vayu romate, ke Kabul ke Kandhar, ke Delhi, ke Dakhan, ke Gudan mathe Girnar, kahin Jumbi Jaisalmer ta dina beka neer bakar, ke Puriu Punjab re, ke Halan mathe halar, kahin Bhuj bhijayo, ke kahin Dhatt mathe dhar, kahin achi Amarkot ta vasaya valhar, Saim Sadai Kari mathe Sindh sukar, Do samitha dildar, alam sabawat kareem. It's surprising that we always mention these last lines, but the cosmopolitanism, the diversity, the cultural, and then the universalness of human existence that Bhitai is mentioning. He says the monsoon has staged a comeback and formed clouds. The lightning too has accompanied it to bring rain to the earth, which gets illuminated all around. So as Sur Sarang goes ahead, it talks about illumination of hearts. Some of the lightning left for Constantinople, and some turned towards the west. It glittered over China also, and some covered Samarkand. It went to Turkey, and some reigned in Kabul and Kandahar. Delhi, Deccan and Girnar also received showers, light bolts. Some lightning glittered over Jaisalmer, Bikaner and Bakar, and a heavy downpour to Bhuj and then to the borders of the desert. Some drenched Amarkot and Valhar and low areas, my lord. Keep Sindh prosperous at all times. My dear friend, extend your benevolence to the world. So when you see this cosmopolitanism, one gets really surprised that a poet sitting on the mound in Bhitai has a kind of very deep glance over the world, and when he believes in prey, then he mentions every region. Finally, Sur Sarang, when it rains, it brings a real illumination. Priya pasayo panjo nizaro nagah, latho kat kalubata thi viruhan vah, umidu arwah priya pasande punyo. So Mih illuminates, Nih illuminates. So love and rain both illuminate, because Sarang does not just rain, but it becomes phenomenon that is widely observed. Bhitai says, Priya pasayo panjo nazaro naga. He says, all over a sudden, the beloved has manifested himself to me. It cleared rust from a mind which became joyful at the relief. I realized all my heart's desires and pursuance of beholding the beloved. Hence, Bhitai talks about illumination. Every moment is the moment of illumination when it rains. So it rains for some. Bhitai says it rains for some, and this is interpretation by Javed Bhutto. He says that for Bhitai, it rains for some, and for some it is illumination. It rains for majority of humans, insects, zoological world, but there's the minority of humans. They see it as a ishraqiyat, a roshni, an illumination. Finally, north. The north, for Bhitai, north is symbolic, is simple. It's not just physical mention of the north here. The directions are not material. If we try to search these directions physically, there will be contradiction. And for Bhitai, Makko is north, Madino is north. For Bhitai, beloved is north, rain comes from the north. All the beauty is coming from the north. Why the north or the northern star is so mentioned, so much mentioned? Bhitai says, Ajipin uttar par de kakkar kai choti. Ajipin uttar par de kakkar thokare. Ajipin uttar par de tare kai tamar. Ajipin uttar par de kakriu karyu. Ajipin uttar means north. Ajipin uttar par de kakkar kai choti. Ya uttrathi ayu means someone has come from the sacred place. So he says today too is cloudy towards the north. Today too there is the cuckoo chirping towards the north, heralding rain. Today too there appear somber clouds towards the north. So some beauty, some wonderful message, beloved, and the message of love is coming from the north. As we remember the sea voyages in Bhitai's time and always, and the travelers of the desert areas, when they face sandstorm or the sea storm, they lose the directions. When they lose the direction, the only saving grace for them is the northern star. The northern star at that time, when everyone is disoriented, there's no direction, that northern star guides, that becomes mentor, that becomes leader. So that means north. I will just conclude my talk today, that for Shah, northern star is the absolute direction, where there's divine, where there's God, where there's prophet, where there are yogis, where there's beloved, where there's rain, and he uses it in a sacred connotation. North means the top, the zenith, that the light too which resembles to the ideal or to the divine, that illuminates, which is infinite. Nothing is more infinite than the light, because darkness is just the absence of light, and according to Bhitai, light is itself is a being. it itself is a being, and then it's part of the entire phenomenon. Thank you so much.